Okay, we have seen so many changes happen in the real estate market over the past couple of years that I want to make sure we're all on the same page now. 2 years ago, everything started to go up, 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 up. Nothing was slowing things down. Everything was forcing prices higher and higher. But right now, things are changing. It is so important to stay ahead of this information. So today, we're going to be breaking down those changes as they apply to Newport Beach. It's Andrew Parker, your real estate agent here in sunny Southern California, helping you with your real estate needs. If you or anyone you know is looking to buy, sell, or invest around Orange County, feel free to give me a call. I would be happy to help you out. Okay, look, now that we know each other, I want to ask, will you go on a date with me? In the description below, there is a link to my Calendly where we can set up a chat to discuss your real estate goals. We can do an in-person like smoothie date or grab some coffee. We can do a phone call or a Zoom call, whatever is easiest for you and your schedule. I want to make sure that you know I am here to help you. So if you have any questions about buying your first home in a year or two, or selling your first home, or starting to get investing, whatever it is, I want to make sure that you know, like, I'm a pretty approachable guy, I'd like to think, but this is a way for you to set up a chat. It'll take 15 to 30 minutes, however long you need, but it's kind of like my office hours. So I am available from 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. every single weekday for you guys. Be sure to sign up below if you're interested at all in getting into real estate. All right, let's get things started with the new listings brought to the market for the month of May 2022 in Newport Beach. We actually saw something very different from what we saw in Irvine. We saw an increase in our new listings here in Newport Beach, up 37% from April, which is an incredible change considering what we were seeing for a lot of the other places. We went from 96 up to 132 new listings, and this is basically the same level that we saw in 2021 and 2020 for the month of May. So it's interesting to see. I don't know if there's an anticipation that some of the buyers might be leaving in this luxury market, and because of that, a lot of people are offloading properties. I'm not exactly sure, but it is a much larger change from what we saw in some of the other cities. Now, our active listings also went up, which is consistent with what we're seeing at some other cities in Orange County. We went up to 184 in May from 141 down in April, which is a 30% increase month over month, which is a very large jump up. And one thing that's interesting to note, we are about to cross this gray line right here where my cursor is, which is a 200 mark for active listings in Newport Beach. That will be the first time that we've crossed that 200 mark since actually exactly 1 year ago. So that'll be exciting when that happens. We finally will have more active inventory on the market. The bummer is that our active inventory is being built on the fact that we have lowering demand in the coastal areas and greater Orange County and really the entire nation right now because of interest rates going up. And then unfortunately, some of this active inventory is being built on overpriced homes or homes that are not at high enough standards for our new buyers to be moving in. Another key difference we saw in Newport Beach from Irvine is that we are actually seeing an increase, or saw an increase in May, of our pending sales from 60 to 68 properties in escrow. That is a 13% increase month over month. And then I did the 3-year running average for 2017, 18, and 19, and that is still 30% down from what we're supposed to be seeing during a normal May. So unfortunately, demand is still low, even though it went up. A key thing to remember is that our data in real estate is lagging. So unfortunately, the numbers that we're looking at right now are a month ago. I'm sure all of you are aware that we just had a very large increase in our interest rates happen over the past few weeks. And if you haven't gone and watched my 2022 market crash video, please be sure to do that. It has a lot of important factors that are changing in the market right now. Keep in mind, though, that this data, being that it was before June, it does not reflect any of those key changes, only the anticipation of. So right now, we are seeing an increase back in May of our pending sales, which is an indicator of demand, but I would not be surprised to see this start coming down in the next few months. Now, our closed transactions did go down. We actually saw a decrease from 81 in April down to 66 in May, and that is a 48% decrease from what we saw in May of 2021. But keep in mind, May of 2021 was an incredible month, as well as the preceding months, March and April. We had a massively high level of demand back then. So to compare it to that is a little bit not fair, But what is important to note also is that May, with 66 closed transactions, that is exactly half of what we saw on our new listings. So if we come back over, we saw 132 brought onto the market. Exactly half of that is going to be our 66 in terms of the closed sales. That just shows you how many properties are not selling as much as they used to. And that is why we are seeing our active listings going up. And then we will also see later in this video, our month supply of inventory will be going up. Both of those key indicators are showing that we are headed towards a buyer's market. We are still in a seller's market for the time being, but the leverage is shifting. Now, our days on market in Newport Beach on the median level stayed consistent with April. We were at 7 for both months, and that is 30% down from what we saw in May of 2021. Now, if we go over to the average, though, we are seeing a little bit of a different story. Between April and May, we saw it almost double from 13 up to 23 days on market on the average level for Newport Beach. That is still 39.5% down from what we saw in May of 2021. But an important thing to consider is, are we thinking that the days on market are going to continue to go up? My guess is yes, because in the luxury market like Newport Beach, demand is a lot harder to find. And with the demand lowering right now, as we've been seeing with pending sales across the board and with interest rates rising, I think that this is going to make homes sit for a longer amount of time. That's why it's so important for you sellers out there to make sure that you are realistic with your prices and aware of where we stand in this market so that your home is not one of the many that will be sitting. Now, our month supply of inventory has gone up about 33% from April, from 1.8 up to 2.4 in May, which is exciting because guess what? This is the first time we've been over 2 months supply of inventory in a year. So congratulations to Newport Beach buyers. This means it is swinging in your direction. It is still very much a seller's market. Keep in mind, anything below 6 is considered a seller's market, and anything above that is a buyer's market. But keep in mind the trajectory of where we are going. We have about a 6 or so month trajectory heading upward, and this is really important for our buyers and sellers out there because this shows your leverage in negotiations. Now, right now where we stand in the market, I don't think that buyers are going to be able to get away with everything before their offer is accepted, but if the home needs repairs during escrow or anything comes up during then, I think sellers are going to be a lot more hesitant to just get rid of your escrow and put it back on the market and try to find a new buyer when we have a decreasing buyer pool. It's a lot harder to get backup offers, especially if your home is not in great condition. And so buyers who are currently in escrow are headed toward it. Keep that in mind. If things do come up, you might be able to ask for those things to get fixed or credits at the close of escrow, but don't get too cocky, okay? We are still well below a buyer's market and still very much in a seller's market. The price per square foot in Newport Beach is all the way up to $1,137 per square foot. That is a 13.5% increase year over year. If we look back in May of 2021, on the average level, we are seeing a very obvious peak back in February. We are down to $1,316 per square foot. And this is a 15% decrease from our peak back in February. I think it is fairly obvious that we will not get back up to those levels. And now it's just kind of a question of when are you willing to sell if you've been holding on for that cash? Because with our demand decreasing and all these things leading toward prices slowing down or falling in the short term, I think it's important for sellers to consider this is a moment where you could be selling at a pretty high point. If we look at this like a mountain, like we were climbing up the ski lift all the way up, you get to the top, you ski down just a little bit and you stop right off the peak. You're still very high up. It might be difficult to breathe. You might not see any trees anywhere, but it is a great time to sell even though you're not at the top. If you don't have any way of getting back up there, which right now in this market doesn't seem like we have one, then it's a very good time to be selling and making your buck. Now, what about our bidding wars going on in Newport Beach? Well, they have not changed at all from April. We are still at 100%, which is 1% over what we saw in May of 2021. But we can clearly see that we've fallen off of the peak for this percentage back in March. And then if we go over to the average, we're seeing the same thing. It's a trend downward ever since March. So we are at 100.5%, meaning that homes are currently selling for an average of 0.5% over the original listed price. Now, our median sales price in Newport Beach is up to $2,850,000. That is down from our peak of 3.2 essentially back in February, but you are still making 18.8% on the year in terms of our year-over-year increase from May of 2021. Now, if we go over to the average sales price, we are at $3,536,000, which is a 29% increase year over year if we compare it back to May of 2021. And an important thing to keep in mind, though, is we fell well off of our peak in February. At February, we were all the way up to $4.1, almost $4.2 million, and we have fallen about 18% down to 3.5. You can still sell your home for a ton of money, and sellers out there, I would not get too greedy in hoping that this price will come back up in the short term. I think a lot of indicators in our demand are leading toward prices falling or slowing down in the short term. And so if you are thinking about selling soon and needing to either get rid of a vacation home or cash in and go downsize into a new primary residence, now is a very, very good time to do it. And I've been saying that for a while now. I don't want that to go away for you. So please take it into consideration. Reach out to me if you have any questions for your particular area, because things definitely do change neighborhood by neighborhood. That's been Market Monday. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. It helps me out a ton. Also, be sure to follow Andrew Parker Realty on all social media for more property tours, market updates, and real estate tips. And do not forget about that Calendly link. I'd love to go on a first date with you. I do have a girlfriend, but I think she will make some exceptions when it comes to real estate. So please be sure to sign up there. And then finally, if you have any questions or comments of your own, be sure to leave them in the comment section below or shoot me a DM. I would be happy to respond or make a video answering the questions that you guys have. All right, I'll see you in the next one.